Okay, I've started installing the oak edging. It's not been finished off, hasn't been varnished, of course, but still, that's a job done on this side. Next step is to take all of that and start building a display case on top. By the same token, I've started working at the other end. The real key to the success of this side was making sure that I cut the white part of the table so that when the oak edging was put in, it would fit. And as you can see, that oak edging fits really well. So under here, I've got all of this oak edging all the way around, and that was a very critical measurement. I still have the oak edging on the front. That wasn't the critical part. So that's in, and it fits beautifully. Everything is copacetic. So now I've just got to finish the edging around the sides. Now over here where I told you I probably have slide outs on this piece that would be under the paint booth, well, if it does slide out, it's going to go at least this far, if not the full length, so that this edge comes up to this edge. And if it does come up to that edge, if I have to have some support under that side over there, I will put a leg, and that leg will simply be part of the slide part. And when it goes back, it'll be a facing, and when it slides out, there'll be a little adjusting nut. No big deal, not a problem. But that will then give me the ability to simply turn 90 degrees, and I have my airbrush spray booth right there. And then when I don't need it, I can push it all the way back in that direction and have access to all these cabinets. So that should work well for me. I'm not going to do this display case right here right now. Well, first, what I'm going to do is finish up this end, because what's going to happen down here now that, let me get down here, now that my top is done, I can put the display case up here. I think I've decided it's going to be the large one. It's going to be 48 inches, and I'm still thinking about the shelves and how I'll handle those. But then right here, it's only going to come over this far, and what's going to happen right here will be the cubbies that will come up, and they will have fixed shelves. My wife can just stick stuff in it like work gloves and trimmers and whatever she wants to put in it. So that's what I'm going to work on, is to finish this end. And once this end is finished, she then is out of the picture. I can do anything at the other end that I need to do at whatever pace I need to do it, but she's in business down here. So next thing for me to do, I do have to finish a little something down here. As you know, I've got that little bit of table that's added down there underneath the spray booth slide part. I need to go ahead and get the biscuit cutter out and get that all glued together, and once that's done, that tabletop is one piece and everything's in good shape. Then eventually I'll get around to doing what will be another 48-inch display case right here, but it's going to go all the way up. It's going to be taller than 48 inches because it will also have to make up for this difference down here. At the other end, if I do it the way I've got it planned right now, it will be 48 inches by 48 inches, 4 feet by 4 feet, and that will come out, I don't know, somewhere in here, and we'll fill this area all the way over to here. So, well, to here. So that's where I'm at right now, and Okay, today is Saturday, October 15th. I'm trying to get a bunch of little things done today to finish up areas so that I can prepare those areas for varnishing. But first decision I had to make was how far out I want this spray booth to go. And I've got the top in position right now that is literally as far as I want to go. And that way I can turn my chair 90 degrees and I'm looking directly into the airbrush box. So that'll work well. And I was having some clearance issues for my exhaust coming out of the back of the fans. Coming out to this distance I can fix. Right now that stool is sitting right about the middle of the spray booth area. So that will actually be perfect. I'm not too worried about the extra weight being out on that end over here, because I'll have a slotted leg that will support all the weight. But that's where it's going to be. So now that I know that, I can go ahead and do a little more finish work, some detail work. For those of you who've never used a plate joiner or aren't familiar with them, this is a really great tool for evening up tops where you're using different pieces or you're joining different pieces of wood for furniture. I used to do it with a hand plane and would work my joints until they were perfect. This kind of does it for you as far as aligning the pieces once you get them ready to go. It's called a plate joiner, however, a lot of people call it a biscuit joiner because this is what you use. And it goes into slots, and those slots are made with this slot cutter, and it has a saw blade that comes out. Don't know if you can see that comes out and goes in. You don't really move this tool. You set the tool on an edge and then it slides out, cuts the biscuit joint, the slot, and you're done. Now the beauty is you just mark with these register marks and you cut each piece separately, and when you put them back together the tops are aligned perfectly. You hardly have to even adjust them. So I'll put this together and put some clamps on it. I'm not going to use this. This was just a sample piece. All right, there it is. If I had prepped this flat joint, I wouldn't have any seam here at all, but I didn't bother to do that. However, you'll notice there's absolutely no mismatch on the sides because these were cut at the same depth, and it doesn't matter if the wood is the same thickness because the biscuit's what aligns them on one surface, and that's whatever surface you put the tool on. This is how I'm going to attach that top right there. I'm going to put about 5 of those biscuits in it. I'll then go to the other part of the tabletop and I will cut to similar registration marks and hopefully get an absolutely perfect fit. Okay, I've got my slots cut in this edge. Now I just have to do it on the other part of the table. Okay, I'm going to start out by doing a test fit on this, then I'll pull it back apart, put glue on all the edges, pull it back together. Unfortunately, I don't have any clamps big enough for that, but I still have a solution. So there we have it. I've not clamped it or attempted to clamp it. I've just pushed it by hand, and the surface is perfectly level. This is the surface we need right here. I don't want any bumps on that. So that's the whole purpose of using the biscuits. Now I'm going to clamp it, but I'm going to clamp it using a strap and a couple of boards that will just make sure I don't warp the surface. So there we go. I've got a strap on it, and actually I took the strap around the base as well as the top, so this is staying perfectly flat. I don't have to do anything else except take it apart now, put some glue on the seam, and then tighten it back up. One thing that's pretty essential that I do is to make sure I get plenty of glue in these slots where the biscuits go, as well as on the edge, so I'll be able to get a good adhesion here, I think. And once I get the glue in the slots, I'll put the biscuits in, and then I'll put the glue on the edge and the other side of the biscuits. So that'll all work out pretty good. Here we go. Probably not seeing any of this, and I'm having to move fairly quickly now. There's that. I'm going to get enough glue on this that there is going to be some squeeze out, and I just have a damp sponge that'll get all that up. Get my sponge, clean up the excess, and just leave it for a while. Okay, I'm going to let the glue sit now, and there's no hurry to take the band off of it. I'll just let it sit there, and once that sets up, then I can come back here and I can put the edging on the other side. It's going to line up well because I just checked it, and everything stayed flat, level. But you can understand now why it was important to me to get this seam as close as possible. So I did go back and dress it up a little bit with the Power Circular Saw. This isn't planeable material. I could have put a sander on it, maybe brought it down a little closer. But with the biscuits in it, plenty of glue, a good solid table under it, it's going to be in great shape. So I'm pretty pleased with this. I can now move on to another project, which is to put my shelves in under here, which I haven't done yet. That's just part of the detail. I've got my sliding shelf for the computer over there, and now I'll put the ones in here for my airbrush compressor. So we're looking good. Well, I'm going to go ahead and post this video. It's getting a little too long, and I'm trying to keep them fairly short. But just wanted to put some, hopefully some useful information in this one. As you can see, I'm all glued up over here now with this lower piece, this upper piece. I'm going to get some sliders today or tomorrow morning. Don't know when I'll install them, but I'd like to get this done. The airbrush compressor goes right under here, directly under here. The hose will come up, go into the box. So I got a plan for all that. I'm making the shelves for this right now. I didn't have any material wide enough that I wanted to use for shelves down here. So I used my biscuit joiner yesterday, and I glued some boards together. I'll cut them to dimension today. And they'll sit right in there. One will sit on this frame, down at that level. The other one will be up here. This will then sit up in here. So this is it. I can sit here, work on whatever I want to work on. When I get ready to brush with the airbrush, turn around like that. This will be my spray booth right here. So I'm making progress, slowly but surely, but I'm pretty pleased with what I got done yesterday. And I'm going to continue on today, cutting some shelves to dimension, etc. And then I can go ahead and start pulling things off of this counter back here in the corner and right in here. I can move them over here. Start to free this space up. Now, why am I going to free this space up? Well, I'll have a hair over 8 feet on this big tabletop. I'll have this workspace right here with my display cabinets. On this tabletop over here, I'm planning on working the large models like my New Jersey and eventually my USS Constitution and B-29 Super Fortress, and I don't know what I'll work over here, but these will be my ship areas. And over here I'm going to have a workstation for trains. Now I'll have a test track over there. I'll use the full length like I've said before, but that way I'll be able to work here under these lights. I'll have this whole area dedicated to absolutely nothing but working on my trains, taking them apart, doing what I have to do. I've got this beautiful Shay locomotive over here. Let me turn you around. And the detail on it is beautiful. I was just looking inside at the back head, and they've got separate throttles, piping, firebox, everything. It's just, I mean, they've got the reversing gears in here. I mean, they've really done a great job on detailing this. So I plan on, oops, let me back up now. I plan on doing my conversion of my Bumblebee right here. All of this stuff will be gone from here so that I will have everything I need to make sure I don't lose screws or small parts or whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and post this, get it out there, and then I got to get over here and start cutting shelves and installing them. So today I hope to have all of this under here done. I want to cut the holes for the wiring to go down to this lower shelf, pull-out shelf, so I can go ahead and move my computer down there. And basically just, you know, I'm pleased with where I am. I'd much rather be a little bit further along, but I'll get there. So anyway, thanks for stopping by Life After Work again for some of you. And if you're a first timer, please subscribe and you'll get a notification on when I'm going to post the next video and the progress on my ships, trains, and planes model shop. It's looking good. I'm happy. So if I'm happy, hey, this is my space. That's what it's all about. So anyway, we'll get this uploaded and I'll be talking to you again later. Bye.